NBA 2K26 gameplay is here. I'm going to be showcasing a ton. We're going to be doing some really good things by showcasing the community. We're covering the news about what is out there. And I have a link in the description for all the creators that we'll be showcasing. We're going to start off with, I believe, the best in NBA 2K LAYUPS. So you're watching Kosa break down some dribble moves, and you're getting to see what exactly the game is going to look like. Of course, you getting your hands on is different, and of course, your skill level is also different. But the key thing that I want to note is that you're seeing different versions of players. There's big guards, ball guards, and what I've noticed from the feedback and information from the community is that you're able to launch pretty good with whichever character. So it's one of the most important things is while you're sizing someone up, being able to go left or right at any point, being able to score however you want as a professional player, very important. And 2K LAYUPS showcasing that is definitely going to be viable this year, and you can do it too, of course, once the game releases. Now, all of this information that they're sharing is subject to change with patches and things that might affect the game in some kind of way, but I wanted to kind of just showcase a little bit and give you guys a preview of what is possible. We got a ton more, so we're going to keep it moving and then go forward. But again, just check out their channel. I'm going to have all that information in the description, one link to all of the creators just for you. Stay tuned. Jumping right into it, we're looking at Joe Knows, one of the Pro-Am players, top players for a few years on and off, being one of the best. And this is the first park play in My Team Triple Threat. And you're watching actual players at Community Day play the game. And basically, in this scenario, what you want to think about is the moves and the ways players are scoring, their speed of the game. You want to just look at defense, what is working defensively. Remember, not every player has defense. Depends on who's guarding who and things like that. We're looking at LeBron, which is Joe Knows. He's trying to get a contact dunk, very easy. The meter's looking really good. It's a big thing to point out, pay attention to. You can see right here, basically, they're trying to figure out the dribbles, and wowzers, beautiful block right there. And this is what I'm talking about. Like, you can start to see this will be most likely a very fun year, and I cannot wait. We're looking at to see if LeBron's posting up mouse in the house. Good stuff. And so, again, another creator who's top tier, one of the best, recovering everybody. I'm not giving you full screens because I'm respecting their content enough to let you go check that out. Oh my goodness, with the block. Joe Knows, but this is a full game unedited by Joe Knows, about 12 minutes of footage. You should definitely check it out. And the key here, I'm teasing you guys. I know somebody's going to be like, hey man, just show the whole thing. No, man. Unless they sent me the footage, I won't be displaying everything. But make sure you check them out as well. But the thing you want to note here is that I can see even LeBron moving fast, and LeBron's a little slow in last year's game compared to what he's doing now. Look at Caitlin putting in work. That was a good shot, but it didn't work out. We're gonna move on. And here we have Young Dirt displaying different sizes and dribble packages, different setups with these characters. Remember, everything that they're showing today is pretty much with the default players' animations. So the next video will be with custom animations. But this is important because you can see the burst out of every play, the speed and the ability to move. Okay, so it's looking really good for any dribble style as far as big builds and small builds. Okay, Young Dirt in the building. Make sure you check out his channel. He's putting in work out here. Very good overall size ups. The main thing I'm focusing on is the launches after a size up. They should feel fluid, and it definitely does. And definitely liking what I'm seeing with this as far as overall. You see Durant, he's going to be moving. I'm making me a big Durant, guys. Oh my goodness. With this type of speed, I'm going to be able to cook up. And so we're going to definitely pull up. And this is all you need for confirmation that you're going to have an amazing time regardless of what build you make. Now, I know people are going to say, oh, but what about the small guards? Guess what? They're moving even better. Okay, it's not like if Durant's better right now, at least not from what we're seeing. But the small guards are going to have way more different attributes that the big guards can't have. Okay, so that's where we're going to see how it all plays out. They'll have higher dribbles, they'll have better speed overall. And so I'm assuming, you know, we'll be having that versatility. But I'm liking what I'm seeing, even with these default dribbles. So we're going to be able to get shifty. Personally, the misdirection, I'm glad that it's back to be able to get some good dribbles and do some fun stuff in the game. Right? Check out Young Dirk. And now we moving on to Double H. He's out here cooking up with some really great stuff. He has overall things like shooting, slashing, defense. Pretty much went through a full list of different things. And I could just tell, man, this game's going to be a really good time. I actually might full-time 2K, guys. What do y'all think, man, at this point? I'm just saying, like, I want to do some my career. I want to do some my team. I feel like doing some my NBA. I'm like all over the place. Even the W got me ready to try this thing out. But look at these crazy hooks and this insanity of basketball that you're watching right now. I'm excited. Like I said, this is all pre-release and this was for Community Day and just trying to showcase some of the creators and Double H putting in the work with this very good highlight reel of what's possible and what is going on. The main thing I want to kind of point out with everybody's setup is this is just visuals and their excitement. But when you get to your game, you have to be skilled. Okay, you have to learn these mechanics and get into it as well. So yeah, make sure you check these guys out. Now we got Simply Grinding putting in work here with a honest review, but it's actually pretty cool because he explains things that he loves and things that he doesn't like. For example, in this clip, he's saying you're capable of launching with different dribble modes. It's not just the Steve Francis. And that is super good. And the issue that he didn't like was that the ball switches hands, and he found a way to fix that. So many little details in this video about the things that he enjoyed and the things that he didn't. And this is the best way to kind of see and gauge things, guys. The more people you get to hear from, the more you get to learn, and the more you're able to see what works or what doesn't, or what's really the full consensus. One person might not even like slashing. Why take advice from somebody who doesn't like slashing, or take advice from somebody, you know, who doesn't dribble on dribbling? It just doesn't make sense. So very cool to have his honest opinion on what he liked and didn't like. I'd recommend checking this one out as well. A lot of good tips and tricks. And if you're here and you're like, hey man, why don't you just show the whole clip? What are you doing? Is this your content? I'm reporting the news right now. Okay, I want to kind of put a light on the community. So comment down. All right. I have my guides and tips and tricks when I get the chance. Right. I could have just stole some footage and talk crazy over it, act like I know what I was playing or something. We're not doing that. So comment down. All right, let's keep it going. Now we got Kevin Cruz coming out here with his testing and impressions. He talked about the game speed. He said everything overall is just more fluid and sped up. And that's not in a bad way. Sped up as in last year was a little slow and this year has a little more speed. And this just adds to the more fun. You know, you have the freedom to move and groove with defense and offense. And that's important. And so he pointed that out. He did test a lot of things like the catch and shoot system for the new mechanics, and then also dribbles and things of that nature. Very good details on his personal impressions. I want to do a couple of these, people just giving their thoughts and share the kind of like a recap summary while highlighting what they've been doing and what they got going on. Definitely loving this and excited about what's next. when it comes to guides and tips and tricks that they might be making. Check out Kevin Cruz. Cold the man also giving his impressions and basically showcasing different sizes. And this is one of the most important things that everybody's basically confirming, that you can burst out of moves. He basically did a hezi and moved out with many different characters, or just did a simple move and tried to launch out of it with the quick first step. And what he's noticed is that them having some type of speed rather than stumbling the ball or just being stuck in an animation that doesn't play well. This is basically top tier, most important and relevant, in my opinion. He gets very excited about Victor Wembanyama doing some crazy dribbles, and it's going to be fun to play with a big build, in my opinion, this year. I usually don't make them too tall. I don't make 7-footers that often, and I might make me a little some depending on if I find the right recipe perfectly. I'm always playing a guard most of the time, but that right there is top tier. And again, just the mentality of like, hey, I want to have a little fun. I don't need to get too crazy if I'm big and I want to have some type of ability. It could be fun, and that's what you want. So shout out to him kind of showcasing that. Now we got D-Man Unit. Been around for a very long time, and he's putting in work out here. This is a tutorial, him trying to showcase Goto Shots, trying to showcase finishing and things of that nature. He kind of gives some thoughts and opinions as well on what he's feeling or what he's thinking. And I definitely like what I've seen. Right now, my analyzation is it's going to be a good year, just because you got people who've been around long enough. Like, you got to respect some of these opinions. I know a lot of people say, oh, these creators that go to the events, it's kind of ridiculous. Y'all so immature and don't even know. It's like, these people work very hard and they get an opportunity. It's a blessing. It's not a negative. And guys like him been around forever. He's capable of sharing what he's feeling or what he's thinking, being very professional. And that's what this video does. It actually shows you the actual moves. And this is going to be important because they change a bunch of little details on dribbling and even finishing this year. So you're going to have to adjust, and that's okay. It feels like a new game when you do that. So shout out to him helping out with that. Now we got Solo putting in work, doing his thing. It's going to be a good year. Looking very sharp as far as everything. He basically goes through speed boosting on every build. And this is something that it's a theme, I guess I might label the video that, but it's a theme from all of these people. I've been recording this as I watch, and the theme is that, yes, you know, a tall build will be able to feel good with a move. The thing is, speed boosting gets a bad reputation, but it's basically a quick first step. It's your capability to burst out of a play. There's a lot of different wording if you want, but the small guards last year had the freedom to have the quick first step with a lot of moves. And now it looks like other builds will also have that. So instead of being stuck with one, pretty much everybody going to be able to make some good dribble moves and put some work in. As you can see right here, Curry's going to be nasty with his dribbles. I cannot wait for that. But you can see he did multiple behind the backs, little Curry slide multiple times. Very nice. And you can see the stamina dropped, but the adrenaline was fine. And so that's a good thing. We don't want to waste all of our adrenaline with one or two moves, you know? So this is key. And I'm super excited to continue take this to that next level when the time comes. Hope y'all enjoying these coverage. And now we're going to Kosa. Kosa definitely puts in work for the dribble community. He works with 2K Labs as well, so this is like a double feature, I guess. But in his personal channel, he's putting in work with the dribbles. And one of the biggest things was he's using SIGs like Booker, who is a taller guard, and he's still capable of doing some nice work. And I do believe this is going to be a very great year for that. And I think we might have some good creativity once we get to the my career animations, not stuck on an NBA player. And so it is top tier. I've witnessed some crazy stuff so far. You know, for me, the Scottie Pippen and things like that are going to be fun to utilize to kind of put into my bag. That's going to be my number one, just a little walk back as the main thing that I'm looking to do. But other than that, it's just in general, you look at what he's doing here, just sizing up, getting ready. I'm an ISO player, so personally, I prefer the ISO. But even in the pick and roll, a lot of this stuff could work. You can just minimize it into, smooth left and righting until you get open. And so either way, both are valuable and they're important and they're relevant in the game. So being able to utilize it as best as possible is key. I'm definitely rocking with Kosa as far as like everything that he's doing right here. And you're gonna be able to have the crazy right there little walkbacks in the game. And of course, there's gonna be more than one, I assume. Not gonna just be Scottie Pippen. You've seen some kind of walkbacks already. But this got me hyped, man. We're locked in for the year. Here we are with statistics for small guards. He's basically focusing on what's possible. And he actually shows off Curry at his finest, basically doing tons of stuff. And of course, remember, Curry's one of the best dribblers. I know they talk about his shooting, but he was one of the best dribblers. So some of his dribble package is definitely already going into my small guard. And I mean, depending on what rating he has, I might put it on my big guard. But it's looking good this year. I'm still debating whether to make a small or a big first. I'm going to be honest. I always make a guard to just enjoy the game casually. But the competitive side is really about what is the best. Because we're spending a lot of money to get these players up. As you can see right here, I'm liking a lot of the burst out of the dribbles. That's the main thing you want to watch. Like some of these dribbles are cool combos, but it's really about how he bursts out of it, if he can get moving within that. So of course he was experimenting and learning, but I like the fact that it is in the game as far as like, hey, you comboing up, one of the biggest things. So it's a great year. I think small guards and big guards are both going to be viable. Let me know what you're going to be doing in the comments. All right, y'all, we're looking at tea time. The dudes out here in the park. This is a dope park. Honestly, they should just make this the park for the city. I mean, I'm fine with this. I'm just going to be real with y'all. And getting a first look at it and him walking around in it is very nice for me personally, just because it's like, okay, I would take this as the park. I don't need Transformers or Pirates. Just give me the vibe. Now, also, am going to be playing my team for this mode as well. I played it last year. I thought it was fun. Just a casual mode, maybe hang out with my viewers. It's going to be what we do. With all that being said, let's just check it out and see what's going down. Again, T-Time got the ball, going out there to get some work done. This is player on player, and they score an easy one in the paint. Of course, the difficulties are different depending on what mode you're playing. You can't take like, oh, they made every shot or something too serious. And there goes the first time we get to see the dunk setup. You have to remember it's a new button command, so you have to hit whatever button pops up. It's going to be very interesting, but I'm cool with that. I like the more skill-based setup. So in this video, he's breaking down what he was feeling, what he was thinking, what he was going through, and how he felt about the game. Very good information and cool dude too. So I gotta go check him out. Military veteran. Thank him for his service. Wanted to highlight Devcon here. He basically talks about how he feels everybody's included this year. And what that means is with the gameplay and overall, everybody should be able to get out there and make the type of content that they want, whether they're playing a big guard or a small one, or even, big men. You're going to have the chance to, express yourself as a player and do your thing in the basketball world. And this is important. So that was kind of one of the statements I liked about his thoughts and impressions. And that's what stood out. Again, check him out. Putting in work. Here we are, putting in work, watching Uncle Demi talk about the 7-4s. Now, we don't know officially on this information with the 7-4s. This is the new thing to 2K pretty much ever. I can't remember right now, but 7-4s. Of course, all the footage you're watching, I just want to remind you, this isn't personal SIGs for a 7-4, so everything could be even better because you're going to be able to change some things, most likely. And also, we don't know what's possible in the builder part of it. So just take it with a grain of salt. But he was just discussing how, his test play with the play now with Victor Wembanyama. He wanted to try to see what he was capable of, what type of dribbles, what type of shooting, dunking, anything, or whatever the case may be. And just see how good he can be as a player. It definitely feels like he nailed it as far as like in this footage. So again, take it with a grain of salt because until we get to my player build and maybe you don't get the same animations or maybe you do, those are all questions until the developers figure that out. Personally, I feel like if it's in the game for NBA, it should be in the game for us. It's not that I'm saying make the game broken, but it's NBA. They call it an NBA game. If Victor Wembanyama does it in the game, you can do it every mode, in my opinion. That's just me. But yeah, Demi got into it, and we'll see. Maybe this will be the meta. Everybody has a 7-4 center in their team. I mean, you could play 1s, 2s, 3s, 5s. Like that would be toxic. I don't know the speed. You would have to sacrifice a lot, but personally, I would love to try it. Maybe by the middle of the year, I'll give it a go. It'll be interesting. I'll test it out, of course, and have you guys covered when that comes out. But this was an interesting video, definitely. Now we got Bash World locking in, lock in. The guy always got cool vibes. He's definitely doing this thing in here. He's playing play now. And one of the biggest things that he talked about was how he felt like Kyrie was the best player he got to play with throughout the whole time in play now. He tested out LeBron and a bunch of other characters, and he felt really good with what they were capable of, but he personally was absolutely loving Kyrie's dribbles, overall, just a good player. And of course, guys, we'll just take 2 or 3 pieces from Kyrie, maybe take something from Curry. And if you've been watching this video, basically, I'm going to be snatching Curry's I'm behind the back slide. I'm just thinking that's a combo. We'll see what that lies in the dribble system. Then, Kyrie, I used to have all his stuff. His dribble package I loved and a couple other things in previous years. So definitely say he's, Bash here has a point. We'll see when the game comes out, but I'm loving it. We got boom, boom, boom. Let me hear you say, well. I never know what that song says, but we got Boom Boom in here, a legend in the spaces. She always comes through and has some good conversations in those. And basically, she broke down a bunch of stuff, guys. It's so much to get into. Again, I'm giving y'all teasers on who to go check out and see what type of information. Right now, she's in this very second that you're watching the clip. I wanted to showcase this because it was important. The new pass system that they added is for people who don't know how to pass, basically, is what she says. And basically, you don't want them to do it for you because it's going to be bad. You're going to get a lot of turnovers. So go into the settings, turn it off, which this is a key thing. I'll be doing that right away. I do that for the passive dribbles, which she just showcased. And then you want to do that for the actual passes, not just the dribbles. Because the dribbles, that's one issue. But then they added another. I don't know why they keep adding these. They got to chill. I understand the idea, but it's like for a new player or something, but it's just not useful. It's not effective. So you're better off making the pass yourself than having those silly lobs, But those are things that you want to pay attention to, and that's something that she pointed out very well, and you want to take note into all of the different things that they kind of shared in these videos. All right, Joey 2K really does a good job here with the Goto Shots. I love it when they specialize in the videos rather than just doing a general one. and he went into go-to shots, post shots, kind of really nice stuff. I mean, I'm gonna be using these just to dribble at this point, just to do a dribble move like we did last year for the go-to shots. I'm gonna do that for the post shots, even if I'm on a small guard. It's gonna be possible, and we're gonna have a good time with it. And I definitely think he highlights it the best right now from all the footage that I've watched, and I watched a lot so far. And if you're watching my video, you watched all of these with me in a way, because I'm kind of generalizing some of it, but you're getting to see some of the new things. And whether it's rhythm shooting that he's testing out or go-to shots, these all the different elements in the game. So sure you check that out. Okay, well, we're getting to the end of the video, but I wanted to kind of highlight Joe Knows' interview with Mike Wang. And in this interview, it's just a casual thing. Mike Wang doesn't really say anything new or groundbreaking, but the questions about how his systems work and why they have those systems. And he even addresses things that are like, we're working on changing it, or explaining how they test stuff and how they want to try to sharpen things up. And even though the mechanic isn't functioning from last year, they found a way to retune it and retool it and make it useful. Things of that nature that he expressed. And then at the end of it, he explains that yes, he confirmed he's changing the height requirements for some animations, but a lot of the really good ones are in the 90s. And it's impossible for example, a big player that's 6'9" to get, Kyrie or whoever, or Steve Francis. Not possible. So he explained that. And I've explained that myself, but I love that he basically did that. And now y'all got that info, man. You can't say I didn't tell you, But I wanted to kind of just make sure I do a big recap, a deep dive, a full breakdown, and now I'm going to end it with some of my thoughts, right? After all of these guys, multiple hours of me watching, I finally feel like I see where the game is headed. And the developers realize, the trying to stop a player isn't good. And I think it was our fault a couple years ago. People just exploited and made builds to exploit, launching out of left righting and not doing it in a skilled way. And that is the difference. And I think that now they still have the skill, and you got to put in the combos and put in the work from what we've seen. And you're going to be able to burst out of anything. So it makes it fun and interesting. And, we'll have enjoyment in the game. And that's what matters to me. And we'll be on stream playing together, hanging out, enjoying our vibes. Right? That's pretty much the whole rundown from everything that I've seen so far from all of these videos. If you're a content creator and you're like, this dude used my footage, hey man, I'm sorry. All right. I actually didn't ask every single person if I could use it, but this is covering the news of what's out there. It's legal. YouTube allows that. Put it out in public. It's capable of being covered. And for those that are watching, like, hey man, you took their footage. I did not. I could have, but yeah. Well, we got more news because I am gonna get some footage and do a deeper dive, breakdown into little details on my own. This was more highlighting the community and giving you guys a first look. Go into the description so you can click on their information and see their stuff directly. All right. Hope you enjoyed this one. Just giving you some recaps of what everybody's saying. Appreciate your time, your energy. Y'all stay safe. Take care. Make sure you check out that next one where I do the deep dive. Popping up now. All right, I'm out of here. Peace.